Following Star Wars Battlefront 2, the next big game coming from Electronic Arts is Anthem. Anthem, being developed by BioWare Edmonton, is a brand new IP which is an online multiplayer action role-playing game that was teased all the way back at E3 2014, but first revealed at E3 2017 with some gameplay. Anthem is currently supposed to release in Q4 of 2018. From what we have seen of the game, it looks like a blast. Remember, the BioWare Edmonton team is responsible for games like the Mass Effect trilogy, not that one, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and the Dragon Age series, which for the most part have all been high-quality role-playing games, some of the best within this genre. Now, their next endeavor is with Anthem, which many are touting as the Destiny killer, I guess. Unfortunately though, Anthem is in a lot of trouble right now, not just because of the microtransaction mess that is Star Wars Battlefront 2, but because the game's development continues to lose lead developers as well as a few other issues that we're going to discuss further in this video. Nonetheless, we need to first begin with Mass Effect Andromeda, which led to BioWare Montreal being shut down. Overall, this game was just alright, but nowhere near the excellence of the past 3 games. The game was also heavily criticized for its just bad animations and dialogue.
Alright, what happened?
To who?
To whom? And your goddamn father. Sorry, my face is tired.
This is the worst!
As well as a number of other issues which ultimately led to the game not performing very well in sales, which is also why Mass Effect Andromeda didn't get any single-player DLC and ultimately led to its developer getting canned, joining the nice long list of other EA studios to get shut down. Because of what has happened with Mass Effect Andromeda, as well as Visceral Games getting shut down, and BioWare Edmonton's last 2 Dragon Age games underperforming, reportedly there are worries that if Anthem fails, BioWare Edmonton may be the next on the chopping block. This has apparently made a lot of the developers working and living in Edmonton very concerned about the future. It's also been said that Anthem, the game touted as the Destiny killer, has been internally reviewed recently, and thus far it's not looking very good. Still though, there's close to a year to turn this game around, but right now Anthem, which is supposedly direct competition to Destiny, needs a lot of work. Outside of just that, a few months after Mass Effect Andromeda launched, BioWare boss Aaron Flynn left the company and Casey Hudson, who had previously been with BioWare directing the Mass Effect trilogy but left in 2014, returned to assume the role. Fast forward to August 2017, Anthem's lead animator Stephen Gilmore left the studio. Gilmore had been with BioWare for 17 years, working on games like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Dragon Age Inquisition. Gilmore was a very important developer on all of his projects, so it's very worrying seeing a veteran employee depart mid-development. It was also recently announced in October of 2017 that Dragon Age creative director Mike Laidlaw, who had been with BioWare for 14 years, was leaving. This would be another veteran and important BioWare developer leaving mid-development, as he was reportedly working on Dragon Age 4. Unfortunately, over the last number of years, BioWare has been losing a large number of veteran employees mid-development, something that was very noticeable and public with Mass Effect Andromeda's development. BioWare tried shrugging off those worries, but obviously our fears were justified with the final product that was put out. It's typical for there to be some turnover, but the amount of veteran employees leaving BioWare in the last 2 to 3 years is concerning. And even with the change in leadership, it doesn't appear this is stopping big name departures from happening. Now, we need to get into EA's plan for Anthem. Back in June 2017, right after E3, EA's vice president stated that BioWare plans to support the game with new content and updates long after the game's official release, and that its launch will be the start of making a 10-year journey for BioWare, which may sound familiar because this was originally said about Destiny. Yeah, which we know how that panned out. Following the mess that was Star Wars Battlefront 2, there is a lot of questions regarding Anthem now. In particular, the questions are centered on the game's microtransactions, which back in early October, Brennan Holmes, the creative director on Anthem, responded to. He said, quote unquote, "I hear you. We're talking a fair bit about this at the moment. I can't really talk about it too much, but it's an ongoing discussion. And if it helps, we're all gamers too. A bunch of folks on the team have similar positions on monetization, so that perspective is definitely represented." Now that's nice to hear, but a few weeks before Star Wars Battlefront 2 launched, EA Motive director Chris Matthews said this about fans' concerns, quote unquote, "Right now there have been games that exploit players, and there have been games that have done it in better ways. DICE is taking great care to make sure that star cards and the way they work give you more options in battle. Terms like pay to win and stuff like that are hard to dodge, but the guys are doing a really incredible job of trying to balance that system. If you followed any of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 news, you'd know that Chris Matthews' comments were clearly just talk, because this has been the biggest microtransaction controversy and mess yet. Additionally, Manveer Hare, a former BioWare gameplay designer who worked on Mass Effect Andromeda and Mass Effect 3, gave the following comments regarding EA's goals with their games, saying, quote unquote, "Generally they are pushing for more open world games, and the reason is you can monetize them better." And he would continue adding the reason card packs were added to the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. It was that they could quote unquote get people to keep coming back to a thing instead of just playing for 60 to 100 hours. Manveer Hare would further add that the success of Mass Effect 3's card packs has directly changed the direction of the studio, being the reason why the recent Dragon Age has a multiplayer. He also added this interesting comment about EA, saying, quote unquote, "Electronic Arts and those big publishers in general only care about the highest return on investment. They don't actually care about what the players want, they care about what the players will pay for." Surprisingly again, Brennan Holmes responded to these comments after fans started to question if Anthem would be centered on its loot boxes. He said, quote unquote, "I understand his perspective, but I think he may be misinterpreting a lot of things, and he's definitely not in the know when it comes to Anthem. He was never on the team." All of these comments that Brennan Holmes gave about Anthem's microtransactions were back in October, before the uproar that came with Star Wars Battlefront 2. Reportedly following this controversy, right now EA is retooling the microtransaction model that was supposed to be in Anthem. From some of the contacts I've talked to, it seems that what has happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2 has caused Electronic Arts and many other publishers to worry for the future of their games. It seems that the consumer outrage just was unexpected, and Electronic Arts is now reevaluating their microtransactions with all future games, especially Anthem. Anthem right now is not in good shape, and it's in trouble for numerous issues. One of those issues being Electronic Arts getting greedy once again. We right now don't know what type of adjustments will be made to Anthem's microtransactions, but it should be expected that Electronic Arts will find a new way to try and empty consumers' wallets. Anyway guys, what do you think about Anthem thus far? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also make sure to smack that like button if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.